health and nutrition industry gets all bent out of shape about New Year's resolutions, with stuff like you shouldn't need the start of a new year to start taking care of your health. Here are the 5 best New Year's resolutions for you or your clients to start in 2024. Starting with number 1, more steps. There's some solid evidence to suggest that taking around 7,000 to 9,000 steps per day reduces the risk of overall mortality, which is death, and actually prevents weight gain in adults. That's right, it prevents weight gain, completely independent of food intake. So if you or your clients aren't being mindful of your steps, it's time to start. And the good news is it's never been easier to track. Most smartphones and watches are already tracking your steps for you. You just need to assess what's normal for you with that data and start to set a realistic goal. And then from there, just get to walking. Walking is incredibly accessible and easy to program for most people, as well as getting outside is great for your overall health. Now, if you're like me and you live in a rough winter climate like Western Canada, it can be a tough time of year to get your steps in. I know for a fact that there have been some winter periods where I only get 500 to 1,500 steps per day because I just sit down at my desk and I don't move. And I'll gain 5 to 10 pounds over the course of the winter without changing anything I eat because of this lack of activity. There are some ways around this which I've needed to learn the hard way, and the first one is dress warmer. Most people that don't like being outside in the winter just don't have the appropriate clothing. Buy some warmer winter clothes. We're talking smart wool socks as well as a good winter jacket, and you can get outside and get your steps in, and it can even be enjoyable when you're warm. Number 2, head to the mall. If it's too cold out, we're talking minus 40 degrees Celsius, it can actually be dangerous to be outside. Most mid-sized cities and even smaller centers have shopping malls where you can go inside and walk around and get your steps in. Many even have walking groups who are there for the sole purpose of walking around inside the mall and getting their steps in. And finally, we have number 3, walking treadmills. Simple walking or under the desk treadmills have never been so affordable. Many are $200 to $300 for something that you could use each and every day. And you'll log around 5,000 to 7,000 steps every hour you're on the walking treadmill, walking around 2.5 to 3 miles per hour. Take meetings on the treadmill, walk and watch Netflix. There's never been easier ways to get your steps in while doing multiple things. Setting a step goal can become a New Year's resolution when you make a firm decision to get a set number of steps in each and every day. Plus, focusing on something that you can do is much more motivating than avoiding or writing something off, which is why I love this type of resolution. So here's what I do for most of my clients, the clients that have wanted to go in this direction. For my clients, I like to get a sense of what is normal, get a baseline level of steps for around 3 days, take the average, and then to set a goal around 1,000 to 2,000 steps more than that baseline, which usually ends up being around 10 to 15 more minutes of deliberate walking. It's a great resolution. Next up, we have number 2, less alcohol. Now listen, I've been pretty pro alcohol most of my nutrition career. I've actually made entire videos on how you can drink alcohol and still lose weight and be healthy. So let me start this off by saying you can be healthy and still drink. But evidence is mounting around some of the negative impacts and influences of alcohol. And since it doesn't really add much to your quality of life or add meaningful nutrients, there's no real harm in avoiding alcohol for a certain period of time, especially after the holidays. Here are 2 solid resolutions that you can make that are realistic and can have a big impact on your health. The first one is dry January. Cutting out alcohol indefinitely probably isn't realistic for most people, but for periods of time with a firm end date, it's probably something that most people can do and should do, as long as it doesn't mean a rebound and ending up drinking more than you would because you abstained. Now, this also doesn't mean that you can't have non-alcoholic drink replacements. The non-alcoholic beer, wine, and spirits section has completely taken off recently. So there's plenty of stuff to drink and be social. And number 2, set a drink limit. Positive health changes come from the combination of small actions, not just swearing off something entirely like most resolutions do. So there's tons of room to reduce alcohol intake, and a really realistic resolution would be to set a weekly drink limit. Something like 2 drinks maximum for the week, or even thinking about it on a monthly basis for total drinks over the course of the month. It's one thing just to want things to be different, and a completely different scenario when you set objective parameters to follow. Remember, research has shown that nearly 80% of New Year's resolutions fail. That means 4 out of every 5 people will not be able to stick to the resolution. And that's probably because they were set up with the intention that it would be something that someone would avoid forever, instead of it being objective or realistic, or at least have a timeline. The more you can approach your resolutions that way, the more you'll have the best of both worlds. The benefits of making a change, but also having something that can be managed through time. Here's some other great New Year's resolutions that you can set. Number 3 is gonna have to do with meal prep. Here's the deal, you can still eat out of the home and lose weight. And although eating out, takeout food, and at restaurants is gonna be necessary for a lot of people, it just isn't ideal. And although the food and restaurant industry has provided a lot more healthy, less processed, macro-friendly meals than it has ever before, there's still a lot of merit in preparing your own food yourself. In my experience, after working with thousands of nutrition clients, here's what I've noticed. A lot of them struggle to improve their eating habits and to lose weight if they're eating more than one meal outside of the home per day. The solution? Plan, prepare, and cook more of your own meals. So what could a resolution look like for this? Speaking of strategies, before we move on to number 4 on our list, if you're interested in learning more about nutrition coaching and want some more information on how to get clients results, how to get clients on social media, and the step-by-step coaching system you need to use to work with clients, go to the first link in the description below and sign up for one of the many completely free educational webinars the Dr. Mark Method team puts on every month. Next up, we have a resolution that I'm passionate about, and by that I mean I'm plagued by. Number 4, distractions. I want to go on the record with this one. It's easier than ever to be successful in your health, your business, or your personal life. There's never been better tools, strategies, and support for all of these endeavors. And the people that will win and be successful in 2024 are going to be those who aren't distracted, mainly with mindlessly scrolling on social media or binging Netflix, which isn't all that bad until an hour in the evening turns to 2 to 3 hours and you're doing it mindlessly and it's starting to interfere with your sleep, or it gets in the way of your productive daytime hours. For many of us, social media is a necessary evil, but it's also advisable to limit it to only what is needed to be social or to grow your business. Instead of saying, I'll just never go on social media again, which isn't going to be realistic, set some limits for yourself and be specific. For example, limit social media to no more than 30 minutes over the course of the day and set a timer. And there's even better tools to help you get there. Instead of just wishing you'll stay off social media entirely, put your phone in a different room during the workday or not near your bedstand. And if your desktop is an issue, you can use website blockers like Freedom or Antisocial to stay off it entirely. These can be a game changer. And remember, you don't need to do this stuff alone. Meaning when others know what you're up to and what you're trying to accomplish, or other people are helping guiding you, you're going to be in a better spot to be successful. And research has shown this. In a study focusing on accountability from the American Society of Training and Development, it was found that you have a 65% higher chance of accomplishing a goal or resolution when you commit to someone. So tell someone you trust about your intentions or a shared goal that you set together. And your chance of success actually increases to 95% if you have ongoing meetings with the person that you committed to, which is why when this person is also your coach, you're much more likely to reach your goal and nail your resolution. Set a goal, create action steps, find some accountability and guidance, and get after it. Lastly, we have another health resolution that's all about addition and not subtraction. Number 5, set a fruit and vegetable goal. So many New Year's resolutions, particularly the ones that fail, are centered on cutting something out or abstaining entirely. But health improvements come much easier, or at least they stay around for longer when you focus on addition and not just subtraction. And since so many people want to improve their eating habits but have no idea where to start, outside of starting some brand new diet that Johnny from accounting was talking about in the break room, they should just focus on adding in more fruits and vegetables to their normal daily intake. Personally, outside of tracking overall nutrition, like tracking calories and macronutrients, I get my clients to focus on adding in a serving of fruit and or vegetable each and every time they eat. This keeps them full, it gets them planning, and it helps them make dietary decisions that are going to improve their overall health. If they struggle to eat any fruit and or vegetable at all, maybe we'll just focus on adding in one of each per day. Now, those are 5 resolutions that I've personally suggested to clients over the last month. New Year's resolutions can get a bad reputation in the nutrition, health, and fitness world, but I really don't understand it. I personally believe when people are motivated to change, there's low resistance, that they should just roll with it. And especially when they can get specific around their intentions, get objective around what success would look like, and then what are the action steps to get there, while being patient and giving the entire process enough time to form some new habits. New Year's resolutions can be a great use of energy and completely life-changing. Now, as great as all these tips are, if you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'll have you do is check out this video I've linked up right here. Many people will want to lose weight in the new year. Make sure you're not making 8 of these very common weight loss mistakes. So check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.